Good morning, USA.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to Skin in the Game podcast. First of all, I want to say thank you for you guys that are liking, subscribing, and sharing our podcast. So, how you guys doing?
We're great. How are you?
Thank you.
I'm doing good. Jose, how you doing?
I'm chilling like always.
Okay, so before we go a little bit further, Jenny, why don't you do us a favor and introduce us to our guest today?
Well, everybody, I want you to meet my longtime friend, Camille, formerly known as Pellegrino, but now is Spinelli. A lucky guy found
Here
her,
comes the IRS.
snatched her up.
They know my name.
We're anti-IRS over here. So let me tell you, I met Camille when I was 19. I was working at TGI Fridays as a hostess, and I used to hang out with people at the bar because I always hung out with older people, and I ended up meeting her friend named Adrian. Hey, girl, how are you? Enjoy
Shout
your
out.
travels.
Shout out.
She's always traveling.
She just said older people, so now I got the gist.
Oh.
No, I mean like much older.
Oh, okay, cool.
But I will say Camille wasn't like a bar person.
I love
But I met her friend, and I had just came from Miami, full of life, and I was working at Fridays, and I was like, hey, aren't you friends with that girl who works at Fur? And
it. Yeah.
she, dances and does all these things, and she was like, yeah, and I was like, well, I would like to join her team, I want to dance too and get paid for it. And so she was like, okay, I'll connect you guys. And so she did, and I met Camille, and Camille was very matter of fact, and she's like, look, I don't have time for nonsense. You got to learn these dance moves if you want to make it, okay? Like top model.
That's awesome.
So it was the most hilarious thing because I am the worst at learning routines, but somehow I made my way onto that dance team, and I ended up, well, I'll backtrack. We were at her apartment, and she's having incredible patience for my slow learning skills. She's like, oh my God, thank God I like this girl because she can't dance for shit.
You're a great freestyler, but
Yeah.
I can't learn dances to save my life, so I get it.
Freestyle, that's it. That's all that I'm good at. So anyways, we just took a liking to each other, and we became really good friends. And I slept on her couch for some time. That was fun. We would, stay up till 6 a.m, and I had to go to work at 7. And we did a lot of fun things. But then also later in life, we grew together. I grew, and she grew, and now she's a mom. I'm a mom. And I remember she used to say, I'm never going to have kids. I'm never going to have kids. And I'm like, whatever. And then, boom, she loves her son.
I am love drunk with that boy, man.
He's the sweetest little baby. He behaves
amazing.
like perfect. So good. But yeah, now my friend is a millionaire officially. And
Congratulations.
it's pretty cool.
Hell
It's
yeah.
pretty cool to say, she's came, her journey hasn't been easy, but I want her to tell you guys all about it.
Well, it's a solo millionaire, and on my way to becoming millionaire with plural. So
Say it again because the microphone didn't catch it.
Plural millionaire. So
Okay.
that's the goal.
But you got the first step.
You got the
so,
one.
Yeah.
You got the one.
I think that's a great start.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background?
Yeah.
Your parents, where you come from. Interesting story, by the way, so far what I've heard. But share that with us, and then you can tell us a little bit about what you're doing presently.
Broken home like most everybody, right?
Yep.
And abusive alcoholic father who I love, but he passed away, and very poor background. So grew up in public housing. Would hide my mom when she's using food stamps because I was embarrassed. But she did everything she could to put me through private school and take me to the Kennedy Center and get me cultured and put me through ballet classes. So I have this great dichotomy between the underbelly and what life could be like. And so having two very different personalities in each of those structures has given me a lot of grit to be able to, my name is Camille, but be a chameleon in every aspect of
I love that.
my
I
life.
love that too.
So, So that's kind of what gave me my grit. I was not a school person. I always had C's, D's, and F's, and I dropped out of school in 10th grade. And how I'm here, I have no idea. But I think what that gives you is survival skills. And when people say that you can't come, you can't be in America and make it if you come from that's a plus. It's a bonus to come from what I came from, because just imagine if everything's handed to you, you don't appreciate anything. Yeah. She was talking about my son. It took us years and 3 IVF trials to be able, and someone else having my son for me to be able to have one. So I probably appreciate him.
Wow, congratulations.
Thanks. Way more than I, may have and prior. So, yeah.
Wow. Crazy.
That's crazy, yeah.
Yeah, that was a journey for sure.
Yeah.
So coming from like the very bottom, going up, like what was your vision, like, say, when you were dirt poor, were you like really like, I'm gonna be a millionaire one day, or was it just, growing up with that broken mentality and then finally one day, finding yourself and, giving yourself motivation to go after that?
So I have a lighthearted personality. So started from the bottom, now I'm here. So
comedy relief a lot.
No, I saw my mom pull out $20 and worry about stuff, and that fear is I never. And then she was disabled because my father was an abusive alcoholic, and I don't want to live off the back of my labor. So secretly, I'm just lazy, right? And people who are lazy are great at efficiencies. So I wanted to find a way where I wasn't afraid, because if something happened to my job, what was I going to do? I didn't have any family to
lean back on.
Yeah. So I got my first townhome after my dad died, and my best friend went to jail, and my boyfriend left me, and I had nobody, and so I bought a house, right? Because they say that's, and I rented out all my rooms, and and then I saved everything else for that day in case, because growing up, you live that kind of life, in case is always going to happen. Yeah. So I always got plan A, B, C, and D, because A, B, and C is going to go wrong.
So basically you stay paranoid.
Yeah. That's a good way to say it.
Yeah. Always ready. And before you got your house and you did other ventures, you learned how to budget through your nightlife entrepreneurship venture, right?
Yeah. So my first company was Jenny came to work for me. Sidebar. It's always interesting how people perceive me when they first meet me, because I'm a jokester. I'm always, silly. And for people to be like, oh, I didn't think you liked me. Or I was like, oh my gosh, I don't dislike really anybody. You got to do a lot to me for me to dislike you. But I think I have found out from my backbone, who is my husband, he's like, yeah, you're an introvert. And I'm like, what? I've taken jobs and done things. I know we went off a tangent, but I've done jobs and taken things where I'm center of attention. How is that an introvert? It's totally different. I don't get energy from a lot of people. I get drained. So that was just interesting to learn about myself. But
that's crazy.
As you were saying, yes, paranoid. And I work really well under pressure. As soon as something really bad happens, that's when I'm under fire, creating solutions, solving problems. So that's just,
That's a great trait to have.
Did I say I want to be a millionaire? No, and I don't really consider myself that, because it's not sitting in the bank. It's sitting in equity, which on paper,
assets.
I am.
Yeah, but you still are.
But yeah, so, and if I sold tomorrow, yeah, I would be. But in my mind, I'm just building myself security so that I never have to be afraid again.
Yeah. Back to what you were saying about, when you work efficiently, when you're under stress, I feel the same way. It's been times where I have where I had no money in the bank account, no money, rent's due in 5 days, and in 5 days, boom, I come up with the rent money.
Yeah.
And there's no other way you could pull that off except entrepreneurship.
But if everything you did was putting your money into something that paid that bill, wouldn't that be amazing? Man, I want that car. Okay, well, let me go buy this thing that pays for that car. So you're never buying things.
That's how the rich people stay rich. They never pay for anything. They
Is
have
it?
other people
Cool.
pay
I'm
for
on board.
things.
That's what Oscar's been telling me. Like, dude, like, you know, I didn't really ever think of growing my business till I kind of met Oscar, and he was like, bro, leverage.
Yeah.
And then
That's
I
my
was like,
favorite word.
yo,
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
you're right, but how am I gonna do it? I gotta find the right people. Yeah, go look for people. Like, you know, go look for people, and if that don't work out, go look for somebody else, and just keep doing that
Yeah.
and keep leveraging people to, you know, make more money.
I love that. And banking wise, all day. I think personally, I fear leveraging a person because I don't want to need anybody. You know what I mean?
I got you.
Yeah, that's
That's a personal
no, totally.
rabbit hole there.
Yeah, I get it.
You know, I used to think like that,
Yeah.
but then I realized that if you have enough people, so you're not relying on one person, you're relying on yourself. Like what my mentor says, I got my team, so my passive income is coming from my team. But he says if you have the mentality that those people are not there, meaning that you cannot rely on them, you are out there grinding. You are, like we say in our industry, you know, your pen,
Yeah.
right? You're relying on your pen. So I'm relying on my pen to make money, right? But at the same time, I'm building different leaders that are building me that long-term generational wealth
Yeah.
and passive income.
Yeah.
So you lead by example. You have them, you're teaching them the ropes. Obviously, that's like you're building your team, but you're not relying on them. You got to put the pressure on yourself and lead by example. They'll follow, and they also know that you don't need them.
I tend to be kind of like her, where I want to be the one that's in control of everything, essentially. And I realized me personally, I am not the best with managing people. Having to be behind a person. But then I think, well, maybe I didn't start off training them properly or something along those lines, you know? And then I'm like, oh, I got a lot of work to do there.
Or hire somebody that is good at managing, so now you no
True.
longer have to do that.
Yeah. Delegate what you hate.
Yes.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
focus on what you're good at.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny because now that I think about it, the people that I mentor in my class, like, I just want to see them grow. And it's innately just joy to see them do that, regardless of any financial structure. Do I need them? No. But I end up getting from them. So my
course.
philosophy in real estate, because it's a small community where I'm from, and I just think, like, the more I can give to other people, the more it will naturally come in return. So that's been my philosophy. But if you see me coming in the building with 12 bags of groceries and you ask me for help, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
No, I'm like,
Strong,
yes,
independent
I'll
woman.
take the help.
I don't want to be, but it just is.
Yeah. I feel you.
So is that why you started going into real estate because of what you said? Like, you don't really like relying on other people.
Yeah.
So you just went and bought your townhouse. Like, what happened after you bought that townhouse and you rented it? And
I always say entrepreneurship is always the best when it falls into your lap. Like, you didn't go out there and seek it. So I've owned several businesses. The entertainment company came to me, and I loved dancing. Like, I love to dance. I love music. I don't drink, and like dancing is my drug. Just feeling the music and everything. So that kind of fell into my lap. I, didn't like what we were wearing, so I was like, I'm going to make the outfits. So like, I just built a business around it, and it just fell in my lap. Crash of 2008 happened. I went and got a real job, like on paper, and this W-2 income gave me the ability to buy a house. And the guy that I was dating at the time basically told me I wasn't worth anything if I didn't have a house and a government job.
A little brainwash, you know?
I hope he watches
A little
this.
razzle dazzle.
You heard that, right?
Thank you. Thank you for leaving me. I appreciate it.
Yes.
yeah.
Amen.
Opening the way.
Yes. So anyway, I was like, okay, well, I'll show you. I got a house.
Yeah.
Well, how am I going to pay for this house? Okay. And when I rented apartments, I even rented out the other room. Like, I was always like, again, plan A, B, C, and D.
Yeah.
So rented out all the rooms. I mean, this girl, the first renter I had, she came from California, didn't know her. I even had a townhome where I had some dude who worked for the IRS who was like 60 living in my basement. I found him off Yahoo.
That's funny.
Y'all young people don't know, but Yahoo personal ads.
That's crazy.
And I was a single lone female, and I wasn't scared at all. So,
I think he would have been more scared of her. Trust me.
Oh yeah,
Trust me.
I believe that.
yeah. So I found, this happened. I hated being in the restaurant business, which was what I went back to after the crash of 2007, 8. I don't. Those years are a blur, anyways.
Like around 8, 9, yeah.
Yeah. So the good thing is I got that house for super cheap. I got it for $112,000 with my hush money. Obama was giving out $8,000, so I call it my hush money. So I got that. So I put that in the bank, saved it, was working, and eventually, years later, I ended up meeting my husband and deciding to move to Frederick, and so I rented out my townhome, and I started a juice bar. So that was my second business. I was like, I'm done with what I'm doing, and I just want to go start a juice bar. Funny enough story, I ended up just walking into the place where I used to go work out, and they were like, opening for someone to run a juice bar.
That's crazy.
I call him, I say, you want to do this? He's like, yeah. Well, I needed all his credit to do it. And he's very pragmatic. He was only dating me.
Wow.
Right? So he must have trusted me. So anyway,
he had skin in the game.
More than you know. Sorry, guys.
Behind the scenes.
Oh man.
So we opened this juice bar, and that was the most humbling experience of my life. Having that one property, though, and going through losing a very good income to probably not making hardly anything, that property kept me afloat with my bills, so I didn't have to depend on someone. So I ended up selling that because, market and whatever. I just could see the future and where this was going. So I ended up selling it and buying my first beach condo in Myrtle Beach. At this time, throughout this time.
I love Myrtle Beach.
Me too. The people are so nice.
Yeah, they are.
Like,
I've never been.
Whoa,
yeah, you'll
that's
newant to
nice.
go to Ocean City again.
Oh no.
Oh, I don't really go there either. I've gone to Virginia Beach a couple times.
Got it. Oh, well, you're from Miami, so.
Yeah.
So we sold the juice bar and bought our beach condo. During this time, I had my townhome, the beach condo, and my grandmother had passed away. And so I had cleaned out her property and was renting that out. And then I ended up living in my husband's townhome, and we got married, and he's like, I am tired of living in a townhome. Now, mind you, I've only ever lived in like a 2-bedroom, 2-floor, you know what I'm saying, like nothing big. I've never even lived in a house. So he's like, I want to get a house. So we ended up, getting a big house, and I was like, let's keep this property to rent. Man, he was a Dave Ramsey guy, like no debt, like,
Minimize everything that's...
Yeah. And I changed his perspective. But I do want to say I'm a visionary. I'm a risk taker. I'm a big thinker. And without my backbone, which is him, I wouldn't get to the end. I wouldn't get to the finish line. So
he balanced you out though.
Like no other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very important.
Yeah.
That's very
Like
important.
no other. Like he's, again, my backbone. So now we have a couple properties in the mix.
Nice.
And I'm started to listen to Bigger Pockets. I have a different job at this time in the cosmetic industry, and I'm driving a lot. So what am I going to do with my time? First, listen to Murder Podcast.
Yeah, she loves serial killers.
That's
and
my
things
kind
like
of
that.
stuff right
Love
there.
me some murder. Hey, it keeps men on their toes, especially,
That's funny.
Yeah, women.
Why you
yo,
get nervous, bro?
because I was listening to a statistic that it's like mostly women that listen to all these like serial killer podcasts, and I'm just like, yo, like what's going on?
I go to sleep to it.
Statistically, women are naturally angrier than men.
'Cause y'all
Exactly.
F shit up, man. Sorry.
We love
Do you
guys. We love
listen
you guys.
to Sammy the Bull?
Gravano? No, I haven't. I
You
need
should
to check
listen
that
to
out.
his podcast. You will
Okay.
love it. I go to sleep to that.
Okay, yeah.
He tells a story about the past and
That's awesome.
crazy stuff.
Sword and Scale is pretty, like, real heavy. Like, that's the only podcast I've had to be like, ooh, all right.
So after he said, let's buy a house. How did that go?
Great, because I made sure that the real estate agent put the one I liked first, and they're playing sports. Of course, it was the biggest and the most expensive.
Yo.
Well, it's a nice house. I got a virtual tour.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, I'm listening to bigger podcasts or bigger pockets because I'm driving all the time, and like really getting into this real estate thing, and we started going to meetups, and I used to go to meetups and ask everybody, "How do you do this? Like, you 50 properties? Oh my gosh! Like, how do you do this? How do you get there?" Oh yeah, you just do it. You just and nobody ever gave me like a step by step. So what do? I just go out and do it. First property we bought was on 0% interest credit cards. What? Whole property, wired all the money to the closing table from credit cards.
Savvy girl. Savvy.
Figure it out later.
Legit. Legit.
So like cash withdrawals from the credit cards?
No, you can use, so I used a company called Fund and Grow. I can make anyone a connection if anyone's out there is interested. So I used Fund and Grow, and then you use a third-party company, Plastic, to wire the money from there to the closing table. Specific cards don't let
Nice.
you do that, but like Visa, MasterCard, those do allow that. And the property was $50,000. So, at that time we were approved for a little bit over that, so we were able to do it. And then the other side I bought with traditional lending. So a year and a half later, we ended up cash out refinancing. This was a time when the market was hot. So properties were going up. I think 2019, 2020 had maybe 18. I think it was 18. Because we started our journey about 5-6 years ago. So probably 18. We cashed out, refinanced everything we put into it, paid off the cards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great strategy. I'm using it again for a flip that I'm doing right now. We pulled out $250,000 on credit cards.
Wow.
To
She's
flip a
very
home.
strategic. She's very strategic.
I have them all on auto pay on a list. I look at them every month because that shit will give you
Yeah.
a hernia.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
It'd be
crazy.
great to have a IUL in place,
Right?
so you have more flexibility. But yeah.
Absolutely. Loan from yourself.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So now I got some questions. So you said you're Italian, right?
Yeah.
So from what
The
part?
better half.
Oh, so what exactly?
I'm mixed. My mom's like a mixture of Irish, English, Scottish, German, Cherokee,
Oh, okay.
And then my dad's full-blooded. So Siciliano,
Oh, wow.
Napolitan. So a
Oh,
little bit
wow.
mixed
I love that.
there.
I love that. My grandma's so that's my great grandfather.
Okay.
He was Sicilian.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because I hear the story that my grandma told me that he will always walk around with, I forgot what they call it in the in
In the old country.
in the old country, but he always walk around with his gun, and he fell asleep on it like that, and something happened and he shot his jaw off.
Oh my God.
Yo.
Yeah.
What? That's wild.
Yeah. So they always like if you think about it, you read the book and it's not The Godfather, it's the other one, the one right after The Godfather.
Okay.
I forgot the name, but it's the same author. He
Okay.
wrote a book after The Godfather. There's another story,
Okay.
but it was back there in Sicily.
Oh wow.
And he tells that they always walk around with, I forgot what he calls the guns, but it's like a double barrel shotgun, like a little one like that.
Okay.
And they always walk around with it, back in the day.
Tommy gun?
No,
okay.
no, that's here. But this is like way
Got it.
back.
Okay,
right?
okay.
Like a short shotgun.
Yeah, so that's why
Sawed off.
I'm really interested. I love the Italian Sicilian story.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I love
Sorry,
it.
I didn't
Yeah.
even mean to get off topic.
No, that's
but,
okay.
But okay, cool.
It
So
means we're kindred spirits now.
yeah. So now you have a company right now that's called Bronzini Group.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that.
So that's more like my real estate holdings company. But I do, I don't know if this is the right time or whatever, but I do a mentorship group where I teach people to do what I've done.
Okay.
Like a handheld step-by-step. It's a 6-week class. Actually, Jenny went through it. Did you forget?
Nice.
Yes, I did. Accountability.
Nice.
There's accountability too. So it's a mentorship, but also accountability. And we're always like, hey, I saw this property. Did you go see it? Did you go talk to the property manager? Did you go get pre-approved? I'm also a lender. So I work with hard money. And then I do traditional and debt service coverage, which is your LLC loans.
Cool.
But basically I walk people through. And like I told you earlier, I went to our real estate investor meetings and I would ask people, hey, how'd you do it? And it's like, yeah, you just do it. You just get there. And that's not like step by step. So I just kind of created a little bit of course. It's a little bit of mindset, a little bit of tangible, a little bit about exploring yourself and putting your plan together. And so by the end of it, most people either have started their journey on getting their property or have a property. And then we do potluck, and we all play Robert Kiyosaki's Cash Flow.
Oh, yeah.
Which is phenomenal because you don't play with your money, so you learn things about yourself. Like, you know, so I think it's really cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I love that because, you know, a lot of these gurus out there, you know, on YouTube and just out there, all they talk about is, you know, being a millionaire and doing this and doing that, but no one's really showing you how to get there, you know?
Yeah.
So that's awesome, and I can relate to your business, and I appreciate it because I was the type of person that, you know, I got fed up. I was in the car business. I got fed up with it. I wanted a way out. I was going to go into real estate, but then I found that the insurance company, a company that can walk me to step by step for me to build my book of business and, you know, build my agency and build me as a leader, build myself and others.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate stuff like that because a lot of people just say, oh, you know, I drive this, I do this, you know, my cash flow is this, my assets are this. But how did you do it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How did you do it? And it's thousands of dollars on to do stuff. And at the end of the day, they're not really teaching you a lot of stuff too.
Yeah, and I give the good, bad, the ugly. If I'm going through something, I got 4 people not paying and, 4 people not paying and 4 toilets. You might be in the negative 1 month, right?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Like even with a $2.3 million portfolio.
Of course.
But I give all of that because you want to see the raw. You don't want just the fluff.
Yeah.
Because what you're talking about is the fluff. I don't drive nothing fancy. So
Right.
like all my money's going into real
smart.
estate
That's
because
smart.
I'm in the growth phase.
Yeah.
So in about 4 years, the real goal is not really to work. I just want to, I've had so many people die. I just want to enjoy life with my son and my husband. 4 years, we're out the game. Yeah.
Just cash flowing.
All
Just
right, that's a
cash flow.
great way to segue into how do you balance everything you have going on, along with being a wife, being a mom, being yourself, being a friend, all those things.
I'm trying to think. I feel like I've always been so business driven, and so myself becomes the business. Like that is who I am, my drive. I tell my friends, like, oh, I'm so lazy. And they're like, no, you're not. Look at all you've done. I'm like, no, I'm lazy. But, you know, that's perception, but that's good, right, I guess. How do I balance it? You know, my son is number one in my life right now. Just he's just the best. I don't know why I ever thought I didn't want to be a mom because this is the best thing ever. So people talk about careers happened for me. It's get to this passive where I can, you know, enjoy life and live with the people who are still here. Because again, like I said, I've had so many people like my whole family's almost gone. Yeah. And so like more people than you think want to go around the Monopoly board and collect $200 than buy a piece of property and put something on it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. You know, I had my biggest fear is like I've had a lot of friends like die, right?
Yeah.
And they've all had kids, and they all left their kids with nothing.
Yeah.
But memories. That's it. And some of them not even that.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of drove me to begin with, because it was like the biggest fear of being gone and leaving my kids with nothing.
Yeah.
That was my biggest fear.
I always say I'm an older parent too. So I'm 42 years old and my kid's almost 2. He's not going to have a lot of time with me. So what can I just give him that I lost my dad when I was 22. So
I think you're giving him a lot and you're going to leave him with a lot as well. Not just tangible, but long-lasting.
You know, mentally, you know.
Yeah, and being a parent at this age, it's funny because in my 30s, I would have thought that I would want him to do the school thing and the college thing and this thing and the career focused. And now all I want for him is to be happy.
I love that.
That's good. You get it.
You do you, buddy. Be happy.
I love that. That's crazy. I'm just thinking about it because I remember my mom used to push the college on me so much because she didn't go to college.
Mm-hmm.
and also pressure from the family because my cousins are doctors and they're nurses and they do this and lawyers and all that. And I would think I would listen to that, but then I remember and I look back, I'm like, why am I looking so far away when I can just see my dad next to me? Graduated out of high school, that's it. Entrepreneur, successful, very young age. Why would I want all that when I can have this? And then I went to college and I did 2 semesters. And I told him, I just stopped going. I was like, I'm done. Like, I'm not going to be unhappy because I love you, Mom, but I'm not going to be unhappy because someone else. I'm so sorry. I'm selfish. Maybe. Look at it that way.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be happy. And then one day she kept pushing me and pushing me and pushing me. I was like, okay, you want me to go to college? Okay. Do you want to have that degree so you can show it to your family
Mm-hmm.
that I don't really care for, to be honest?
Yeah.
I don't care what nobody thinks. Or do you want me to be happy and successful? What do you want?
Yeah. And are those people happy? Who knows?
I don't think so.
You're more valuable as an employee than anything else. I mean, as a society, we're more valuable as employees. So
To the system,
can you break that
To
down?
the system, yes.
I mean, that's what feeds everything, taxes, all that stuff. You're not, that's why they churn us out in school to be employee
Oh,
minded.
yeah.
You know?
To be, you mean part of the system?
Yeah, because that's your worth there.
Yeah.
To the constricted system,
Yeah.
right? But what I feel is evolving, what we're evolving into is very community based, not so divided. Even though that still exists, I see the evolution happening and people finding their tribes, and maybe it's a little, fairy tale of mine, but I do see that it's gonna work out well. And like you were saying earlier about this is where the millionaires are made and this is where the middle
Mhm.
class kind of gets erased. Yeah, it is. And there's no more time to really waste. You got to just shift your life.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
we are here for like a short time, and if you aren't, again, you're just passing around the Monopoly board just to collect that $200. That's what a job is.
Yeah, for sure. For
You
sure.
know?
I definitely agree with that. So the mentorship program is something that you have listed on your website? Or
No, I'll actually give my contact information. You could just text me.
We'll post.
Yeah,
We'll post
it.
just
Okay,
text
okay.
me.
How do people get into that? Like your mentorship program?
So I
'Cause
do.
somebody might see this and they'll be like, "Yo,
Yep.
I might be interested." Like, how do you find your people? Do they find you, or how does that work out?
So I run 2 real estate meetups in Frederick, one in Frederick and one in Hagerstown, and a lot of times I meet people through that. But I've also met people on Facebook, different Facebook groups. My Facebook group is Pitchers, like a beer pitcher, and Properties. So Pitchers and Properties. So you can connect with me through there. And I like to do them in person. However, I do online mentorships. I like to get between 4 to 6 people. I think the camaraderie is better. And I do them at my house. I'm very open. Like my goal is to see other people grow, so no one else has to feel the way I did growing up.
I love it.
That with that mindset and mentality, how can you not be successful?
And success is like comfortable in my life. I don't need to have $1 million to be successful,
No, but I mean, successful in the way that you are bringing value to other people.
Yeah.
You're not being selfish.
Yeah.
And
Like
a lot
hoarding the knowledge. You
yeah,
mean.
and a lot of people, that's what they do. They just want to, like the people that you talked about. Oh, yeah. You just got to go out there and do it. I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
how? What's the next step? What's the first step? You know what? I'm going to figure it out. You figure it out, and now you are bringing
Yeah.
that knowledge and that value to them. That's powerful.
I tell a couple of my students, I'm like, when you surpass me, don't forget me.
Yeah. And don't forget to do the same thing I'm doing. That's another thing you want to push too.
Yeah.
Like once you're successful, make sure that you're doing what I'm doing too.
Yeah. Pay
Pay
it
it
forward.
forward.
Yes. Those who serve the most earn the most.
Yeah.
All right, so tell me, what do you think of today's market? Because I keep hearing everything like, yo, don't buy, and then I hear realtors saying, buy if you're ready. That's like the new thing realtors are saying, buy if you're ready. They're not really telling you, no, it's not a good market to buy right now.
Yeah.
Or, oh, it's a good market to buy right now. Their new slogan is buy it when you're ready.
Well, I mean, you're paying somebody's rent. So who's this going to be? Yours or someone else's?
Mm-hmm.
You can marry the house and date the rate, so you can always refinance if the rate's too high, right? You don't have to stay in that house forever either. It can turn it into a rental. So about the market, if it's cash flowing, put it this way. I want to give everyone an example. Let's say you have a property, it's $200,000. It rents, so we go by the, just quick numbers, we go by the 1% rule. That means it's probably going to do well, right?
Mike.
Sorry.
There you go.
So 1% of $200,000 is $2,000. You want to make sure that the property doesn't rent for anything less than that. When that happens, oh my goodness, you say Mike and I forgot what I was saying.
Good.
So let's say the property tomorrow, like 2007 or whatever, let's say the property is now valued worth $150,000, but now you're under mortgage, you're underwater in your mortgage, right? But the property's still making money. That's why you bought it. Does it really matter if the property's not valued anymore?
Yeah, if you're not trying to take it out for the value that it's currently
your
at.
purpose, that what we buy is buy and hold for long term.
Yeah.
So in 15 years, it's going to come back up, maybe surpass it. You make money in real estate 5 ways: cash flow, that's one everyone knows; tax benefits, so you get that yearly at the end of the year; appreciation, so a $100,000 house in 15, 20 years turns into a $200,000 house; and tenant pay down, so someone else is paying
The mortgage.
$180,000 of this mortgage down.
Yeah.
And then you have an inflationary hedge. That's the 5th way. So, your payment's going to stay the same and the rent's going to keep going up. So what other business can you do that?
My question is this. So from an investor perspective, it doesn't matter, right?
If you're making cash flow, that's all that matters.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what about someone that it's looking to, so you want to buy a house, right, to live on.
Mm-hmm.
So now the value of the market went down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But the interest went up.
Yeah, but you locked in the rent interest, so that doesn't really matter.
No.
Oh,
I'm talking about buying now.
Okay.
So buying now. So I understand as a perspective of purchasing to cash flow.
Yeah.
Okay, that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But for someone that is looking to buy a house and has been looking to buy a house, let's say in the last 2 years, but they didn't pull the trigger or whatever. Now the house that they want went down in price a little bit, but the interest is higher.
Yeah.
But now they probably can't afford the
Can't
house,
afford the same amount.
same house that they wanted, so now they got to downgrade.
Yeah.
Would you say?
Yeah.
It's kind of like my situation right now. I'll be 100% transparent. I just moved into a house where I'm only paying a certain amount. And, I calculated a mortgage and everything right now, like present day, to live in that same house. And I would be paying about $3,500 a month in a mortgage and all that, not including taxes.
Yeah.
And me as renting right now is actually the lifestyle is more because I'm paying less.
So it's cheaper than what the mortgage was going to be.
Yeah. So if I was to buy right now, I would actually have to buy like a house where I used to live in that was way smaller.
Yeah.
But instead I was like, weighing my options here. Like, I need a big house now.
Yeah.
Not little, because, I got 3 kids. They're growing up. Obviously in the future, of course.
But you're missing opportunity cost. And this being able to do this is delayed gratification, what we do, and it's sacrifice. So,
because I do see the point in buying now, because it goes back to like is a house an asset or a liability? If I was to buy to live in it, I think it'll be a liability.
Correct.
But if
Until
I was
it
to
pays
buy we're talking present day right now for everybody with the interest rates and all that. we're talking about right now. But if I was to buy that house right now and make money off of it, then obviously it's an asset, right?
Yeah. So when you sell, so if you were going to utilize that house, if you could qualify for it, you move in, you're paying it down, and then you build value in it. So since it's your house, you can do things to it to upgrade it.
Of course.
And that builds value into it. So that when you go to sell, you have a lot more money for a down payment to put into something else when the rates are lower.
Yeah,
right?
It sounds like we got to move to Frederick and Hagerstown because
Frederick's
you're talking
expensive.
about
No, Frederick's expensive.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You were talking about $150K on a house or a townhouse.
That, you don't want to know what that property's valued at now? I bought the property at $50,000. It's worth like $120,000, and that's 4.5 years later.
Wow,
Isn't that crazy?
You can't buy nothing where I live for $120.
Oh, my first property, bought it 2009.
Is that the one you said was 50?
No, that was the one. The 51 is the one I just talked about.
Oh, okay.
The
So it's
hu-
120 now.
Yeah, the one that she used to stay on my couch was I bought it for $112,000. I sold it during COVID because I lost my job. I sold it for $338,000.
Jeez, that's a good.
How long were you there officially? You had it for like 9 years?
10 years, yeah, 9 years, yeah.
Yeah. That's not bad.
So would
That's
you
not bad.
say that, like, say for people that want to, like have that same situation as you, should they wait and buy or should they buy now? Because it kind of seems like the housing market is kind of going a little down right now, right?
Yeah, it's not. I mean, personally, I have no crystal ball, but I think it's leveling out. But it's always a good investment because it's just, if you're going to live in it, that depends. Everybody's situation is different. Would they be better off renting and maybe taking their down payment money and go buying a rental so that in Hagerstown, so that rental paid part of their rent?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that be good?
Yeah.
I'm on it 100%. I'm on it. When it comes down to the investment part, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that it kind of bothers me about the realtors right now is like it doesn't matter. I saw somebody post rates don't matter. Maybe if it's an investment, but if it's a family moving in and they want to use it as a to live there,
Yeah.
come on, bro.
As your forever home.
Come on,
Yeah,
bro.
no, I
Rates
mean,
can also always be paid down, so you have a lower interest rate.
yes, but rates are going to come down, so I wouldn't pay it down. Like a lot of times in that situation, it doesn't make sense. I'll do all the math and
Yeah.
figure out if it's the best thing for the person, but it usually isn't. And it's funny because I was telling people buy now when the rates are low because
Yeah.
$100,000 more in a house, but versus $100,000 less in a house, and then the interest going
interest,
up versus
yeah.
less. It's actually cheaper to buy a more expensive house with a lower interest rate
Of
than it is
course.
a cheaper house with a higher interest rate.
Yeah.
That's what I
exactly.
wanted to hear.
Yeah.
I wanted to hear that
Yeah.
because I mean, I understand we're in business, we want to make money, right? But don't give wrong information, man. I'm all about helping.
Mhm.
Yes, I'm gonna make money. We're gonna make money,
Yeah.
but don't give wrong information. Just not you, but I'm saying
Yeah.
people in the market because they want to make money and they want to sell. Guess what? They're giving wrong information and saying no, it's actually better. Now rates don't matter. I'm like, bro, stop.
Yeah. And
But
Misleading, yeah.
and it's funny because my job, I'm supposed to hound real estate agents and try and get business, and
yeah,
I don't do any of that. Honestly, I just kind of do my little meetups,
yeah,
meet investors,
yeah,
try and help people, work minimal as possible.
yeah.
And
And it falls in your lap,
And if-
like you say, right?
and you know why? Because I don't need it. So when
And
I
that's
saw,
when
That's when,
when
yeah.
it comes to you.
Yeah,
That's when it comes to
Yeah.
you. Where you're not like
Yeah, I don't need
pushing,
it.
pushing.
yeah,
It's like, look, I'm here to serve.
yeah,
Like I talked to the people that I was talking to
Mhm,
today.
yeah.
I showed them because I told them I was like, look, you have your business, I have my business. We're like family members that on that side, on this side. But guess what? If we work together, we can make money. And I showed them the opportunity, how they can be. He's like, well, I don't have time. I was like, I understand, but you can be my referral partner. You have a book of business that we can serve your clients. Yes, you already have your clientele, but guess what? A lot of them don't have any idea about how to protect themselves and their family in case of no longer being there. There's no income coming in. And I was like, bro, you can make income with me and you just leverage me.
yeah,
And then they were like, at first they were like this, right? And then I keep talking to them, showing them more, and they're like, oh, that's legit. And then the wife is like, well, I cannot get my license because what you do because of my license. I said, okay. And then she was like, well, you got to convince him. And I was like, wait a minute. This is an opportunity meeting. I'm not here to convince nobody. I'm looking for people that are looking for me.
Yeah.
If you see value in what I do and you really want to help your clients a little bit more, and at the same time we all win, let's do it. But I'm not here trying to convince you to buy anything. I'm not here to convince you to do business with me and be my business partner. I'm not. Nah, man, that's not what I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And automatically when I said that to them, they were like even more interested. It was funny, man.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. But I was like, nah, man, I'm not here to convince, man. I'm just going to talk to more people and I'll find what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
That's it. So that's awesome that you said that. And every time you kind of like, you've been blessed. You've been lucky just comes to you.
And I would say it's not luck, it's mindset.
Yeah.
It's
attraction.
It's work. It's making it happen.
But also she does a lot of really good things out of the kindness of her heart. So I feel that God is
You're getting blessed.
blessing her so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're buying your luck by serving. You do believe in God?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you serving God's kingdom, you serving, his kids. So guess what? He's giving it to you.
I know.
So that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I with all the bad stuff that I feel like, maybe my life and all the people dying, and I'm not regretful of it because it did make me who I am.
Yeah.
Obviously, I miss the people, but some people are meant to be here.
Yes.
To go on, some people are not.
Yeah.
And that's okay too.
That's powerful.
And you're not going to die anytime soon.
Nah, we need you here. We need more souls like you.
Not
for
if
real.
I'm like driving in Arlington.
Oh, no. Let's not talk about Maryland, though.
Oh, okay.
Maryland drivers? Oh, God. You better be.
I guess
There's
we
no
think the
police
same of each
trooper.
other.
There's no state trooper.
That's
in
because when they pull
Maryland.
you over, they don't give you a ticket like Virginia.
No.
You just look at them and you get a ticket in Virginia.
In Virginia, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I
know.
Yeah, I used to live here, man.
I never got tickets until I moved to Virginia. Then it was like a domino effect.
Yeah, you could show your boobs, do everything. You still get a ticket.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I didn't do that.
I know.
No, let's not ask you if you did that or not.
I would never do that, okay? That is not me.
Shit, I do it.
So
I'm always just like, give it to me, fine.
No,
Okay.
I have an attitude. I'm like, what are you stopping me for?
that's funny. That's funny. No, for me, it was like I used to get pulled over, even though when I was 19, I had cornrows and I'll be driving in my Mercedes. I had an 84 Mercedes with black windows and bumping music. And
Tints
then,
too dark.
yeah, I get pulled over in a tank top. I'm like, how you doing, officer?
He's all nice.
I've gotten away with so much because of just being polite to police officers.
Yeah, the way you
And-
talk to people is like
And they were
top tier.
and
I
they
guess
were
I should have done something different.
I was like, I could have pulled a race card, but like they were all Caucasians. But I was just like, sir, how you doing? What's going on? And I always
Man, I got ticketed and pulled over by a bicycle cop, and I was in the car.
No, they got you.
I respect law, so I stopped.
But I will say, Camille does not stay in her lane at all. She's
Oh.
like, what? Who cares?
I don't even want to
There's
talk. But we
nobody
came
here.
back from the club, and you did a spinny out on the
donuts.
exit. Yeah.
Like
We
on
used to be
purpose, or you lost
crazy.
control?
No.
She lost control.
Oh, I thought you meant like for fun. Like,
Yo.
watch this.
I did do donuts in D.C. though on purpose.
No,
That
but
time.
you were on the exit, and we were following each other from 1223, and you flew out and doing donuts.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Anyway.
That sounds like something
Fun
we'll
times.
do.
5 hour energy.
So-
We did a lot of those.
So now, talk to us a little bit about. I want to learn a little bit about the dynamic with your husband,
Mm-hmm.
because I believe that one of the fastest ways to become successful is by having the right partner.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, he is the yin to your yang.
Yeah.
He balances you
He's
out.
a superhero. I call him the finisher.
Oh, so he's a closer.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
He gets shit done.
Is he Sicilian too?
Is he? I mean, he's Italian, but I don't know if it's Sicilian.
You don't know from where? Okay. So how is
Calabria. There we go.
Oh, okay. Inland.
Yeah.
Okay. So, how was the dynamic between you guys? I want to hear a little bit more about that, because most of the highest earners and the biggest teams in my industry, in my company, they're all partners with their spouse, and like you said, they leverage each other and they focus on what they're good at.
Yeah.
So, what's the dynamic between you and your husband when it comes down to business?
I talk him into really crazy shit, and he does not look back on our juice bar experience as a positive one.
Oh,
But I
okay.
look at it like, hey, it got us to here, right? I'm always about the journey. So, I come up with a harebrained idea, and he challenges me like, that's not going to work. And so then I just keep coming up with problem-solving things to figure it out, and I sell him on it, and then he believes it. And let me tell you, he has taken it and run, because I wouldn't have done this flip or this 250 on credit cards if it wasn't for him being like, yeah, let's just do it.
That's great, because
just do it.
instead of you allowing his rebuttals to
Shut you down.
to shut you down, you guys keep that team ship going, and he pushes you to evolve with your creativity in a sense.
Yeah, my number one strength is problem solver.
10 minutes? Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So would you say he trusted you in the beginning, and then from there, also he's a very technical person. He needs to really understand everything.
Yeah.
But once he does, he runs with it.
Yeah, and he gets his strength is like timekeeper, so he holds me accountable. What's the next step? How are we doing? So we just kind of flow together.
Okay.
It's just amazing. It's been a wonderful journey. I'm so lucky to have him.
I love it.
I love it.
So, I'm really interested in this, because that's what I need in my life, I'm attracting like the right spouse. And I've been single for so long because of that. So now let me ask you this. So whenever, let's say he challenges you, or he like holds you accountable, because you're a Sicilian, you,
I know, I'm so type A.
so that how do you take it, and in the beginning and now, how did you take it up when you're getting challenged? Did you take it personal? Did you?
I'm really good believer that we teach people how to treat us. And so, let's say we're in an argument, and I will say, hey, like, he can walk away and come back and be fine, and we never have to talk about it again. And I need to feel heard. But if he needs to walk away, what I came up with, only I know what can de-escalate me. So I tell him, say, hey, if we're in an argument and you need to walk away, tell me, we can talk about it later, but I'm too angry right now. And immediately he said that, and I'm like, okay.
So good communication.
I immediately de-escalated. So like communication and teaching people how to treat you, like even in the business, in the juice bar, I feel like every time you do this, you don't listen to me, you don't hear me. He's right. Okay, let me stop, think, hear you out, and say, I heard you. What if? Like, it's just little tricks with your verbiage. Change that up so that, instead of arguing and getting your ego in the way, which I'm Sicilian, it can get in the way.
Of course.
And how would he feel in his shoes?
Yeah. I feel like in my marriage is more like, I can probably get out of hand a little bit more than my wife does, but we hit that reset button. Like, we could walk away and then walk back and be like, you know what, my fault.
Yeah.
That's
you
my
need
fault.
time to let the oxygen come back to
Or
the
she'll
brain.
be like, go walk the fucking dog and think about it.
Yeah, because walking does
Maria, I like that.
As long as he tells me he's coming back, I'm okay. Because there's a lot of stuff to unpack in my past, and you might not come back. So that's what I need to hear.
Oh, shoot.
That you're safe. That's it. That's what he's telling me.
You just gave me a good nugget.
Yeah.
Because that's one thing about me too. When let's say we're having a conversation with somebody, and it's, let's say, maybe a challenging conversation, maybe a little argument, whether it's with business partners, my family members. One thing that I don't like is to end the conversation. But it's important to. But I feel like it's important to say, hey, look, you know what? This is getting out of hand right now. I think we should chill out and come back to it. Versus just, that makes sense for me.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You just gave me clarity about me.
Yeah.
So
Most people don't teach others how to treat them. And how would they know?
Yeah.
You only know what can de-escalate you. So figure what that is, and you'll communicate so much better.
My de-escalation is, I'm also like, I need to leave. I need to clear my mind.
Yeah.
So that I could think, then come back with my thoughts collected.
But just imagine if someone was leaving you, that would make you feel, if that made you feel abandoned, just imagine how you would react.
Yeah.
And that's what it was for me.
Yo,
Yeah,
that's a huge
sure.
nugget.
Yeah, we're gonna clip that. We're gonna clip
Yo,
that.
I like that. I like that. I'm gonna be like, yo, all right, if we're
So what does
We're
that
upset.
mean for you, Oscar? Why does it hit you so hard?
because she's right, man. I feel like for me, it's like if I'm having a conversation and it's like a tough conversation, I don't like things to linger. I
Mhm.
want to solve it now
Mhm.
and let's get over with.
Mm-hmm.
But there are times that the temperature is way too hot and you got to take it off the oven.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then come back to it. But for me, it's like I hate when somebody just walks away or,
Hangs
just-
up.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I hate that. Instead of saying, you know what,
Yeah.
I think, look, this is getting out of hand for both of us to keep it respectful. Can we come back to it?
Yes.
That
But
will,
sometimes people don't listen to you
Yeah.
when you say that the first couple times politely.
Yeah.
So they get in their own way as well.
I want to hear you. I just can't hear it right now. You know, that's telling them you're safe. Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
so I don't know.
No, that's huge
It
for me.
works.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, thank you.
communication skills are very important.
So all the links to my info.
Oh, yeah. We're
Yeah,
gonna,
We'll be
we're
here.
gonna wrap it up.
yeah. So what do you have? Instagram, Facebook?
I have a Facebook, and
Okay.
just find me through Pictures and Properties, is the Facebook group.
Mm-hmm.
You can message me through there. I'll leave my email to my
Mhm.
my lending email, and then I'll leave my phone number and just reach out.
And we'll
You got-
post it all.
You gotta have an Instagram.
Oh, I do. It's the Sicilian Boss Lady.
Oh, I love it. Yo, that's crazy. I love that. But do you post like your business stuff on there?
Yeah, a lot of the business stuff goes on there.
Good.
I
Good.
I just keep it kind of organic. Again, I don't need this.
Yeah.
I want to do this,
Yeah.
and maybe it will filter into something even bigger once my
Yeah.
husband isn't working full time, which is in the goal is 4 years.
Love it.
But yeah, just kind of. My son is my number one, so
Got it.
yeah.
That's
I love
awesome.
it. Yeah,
Great.
we'll post everything so you guys can reach out to her and connect and gain some knowledge. You won't regret it.
Yeah. So what we'll do is on our links,
Mhm.
we're gonna post all your stuff.
Yeah. I'll write
So
it
people
all
can
down.
follow you, message you, email you, call you, whatever. But it was thank you so much for having
Yeah, thank you.
coming here and sharing your knowledge, sharing your nuggets.
Yeah.
Greatly appreciate it.
I appreciate you
Hey,
guys.
you.
and
Yeah,
you
thank
should
you
also
much.
start. Sorry, guys. Start your podcast. You need
Yeah.
to. You
Yeah.
need to. Sorry, my bad.
Yes.
I'm done.
No,
now.
you good.
Yeah.
If you need help with that, just holler at me.
Okay.
And I'll.
I probably need a couple conversations to boost me, but yeah.
They really helped me get over myself when it comes to this kind of stuff. And I always say to them, but I'm so grateful for both of them because I like that male, kind of energy that's
Yeah.
like uplifting. You can do it. And for me, I do a lot with that. So now I'm like finally getting the courage to say, okay, I'm going to do my own podcast to talk about parenting and
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
I think I'm just
So-
overwhelmed, and I need the how, and I need to ask a lot of questions to someone that doesn't mind taking the time, and then I don't want to feel like I'm burdening them, and I don't ever want to be a burden. And that's
Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel
yeah,
you.
yeah.
I feel you.
We'll be here to help you.
But yeah, he Toro Jose, he knows a lot about production,
Okay.
all that stuff, and he'll be
Yeah.
more than happy. Excuse me. He'll
Yeah,
be more
yeah.
than happy to give you all the information. But
Definitely.
you need to be. Your voice needs to be out here,
I appreciate
even
that.
if it's once a month
yeah
or
yeah.
every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We need you out here.
I love it.
Mhm.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I agree.
Thank you
I
for
agree.
coming on.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Okay, guys, please subscribe, share, like, comment, send it to your grandma, whatever you got to do. We
Smash
appreciate
that
you.
like button.
All right, yo.
All right, guys.
Make sure you subscribe.